Hoy there, Skyward Shield. And today I'm talking about something that I started watching. I've been watching for a while now. I might have mentioned it once or twice, maybe. I doubt I have, but if you've been my friend, if you've been keeping track of me on Twitter or Tumblr, you know of this one. I'm talking about the English dub of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders. Now this is the next opportunity that they're trying to get JoJo to become popular in the West, as it is one of the big guns in of anime and manga in Japan. It's been a consistent one, actually, because believe it or not, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has been around for about 20 years or so, maybe 30 now. It's been around since the 80s, if I recall correctly. And so far, it has had many troubles about that. If you look up Did You Know Anime with their episode of JoJo, they actually, the guy in charge of Antfish, he explains why that's the case, and I'm not surprised. I mean, anything outside of Japan, there's a lot of copyright, there's a lot of people that get overly sensitive about things, and, well, for some cases, for good reasons. Others, I don't know. Anyway, the English dub came out, so this is your little mini history lesson. I'm going to basically share my opinions, or my first reaction to the dub. Now, as you may know, I prefer dubs over subs greatly. If there's a dub, I will very likely watch it over the subs. Why? I just don't like reading subtitles when I'm watching anime for the first time, and especially if it's one of those action-oriented ones like JoJo, or Naruto, or One Piece, or whatever. If it's more action-centered, I'm more than likely going to watch a dub. Maybe if it's a highly emphasized dialogue type of anime, like a slice of life with very little action, maybe, but that's if it doesn't have a dub, and likely never will. But anyway, let me just begin with episode 1. I will mention, if you don't want to get spoiled, I suggest you leave the video right about now. I'll just give you a synopsis right now. I thought it was great. I love the voice acting. I thought it sounded really good. And I'm looking forward to it when more comes out. I'm sorry if I sound very hesitant. My nose feels like it's all clogged up. I'm hoping I'm not getting sick, which that'll be terrible if it doesn't. But anyway, let's get started, and I'll share with my opinions on episode 1. So you saw my summarized opinion, and if you don't want to know anymore, and you want to go watch it for yourself, I'll link you the first part below. However, I will note it might not last too long, because if I heard correctly, those few episodes are only going to be up for a couple of days or for a limited time. If I recall, if I'm wrong, I hope so. That you can watch it at any time. But you don't need a Crunchyroll account to watch it, but I believe that over time you probably will. So get on that shit now while you still can. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, episode 1. I was surprised to see how well Matthew Mercer did with Jotaro. I honestly wanted Matthew Mercer to be the second JoJo. I mean, not now, not old Joseph. I wanted him as the original, because I've seen part 1 and part 2 in their original Japanese, because I didn't expect a dub at all, because of how difficult it is to get JoJo over here. But it's slowly been getting more and more reception. But like I said before, that's how it has been. So, and of course, with the growing fan base, it seems they jumped on the chance. Viz Media is the one that's licensed this. And Matthew Mercer, who you might know as Chrom from Fire Emblem or Alvin in Tales of Xillia, ironically, the second JoJo also shared those roles, which is why I wanted to continue the trend of Chrom or Matthew Mercer doing that guy's roles again, because I just think that's funny. But he did a good job. Very angry, very irritating, or irritated. I don't know what word will suit better. Either way, I'm fine with both, because I won't lie, I'm not a big fan of this JoJo. I personally prefer the first and second one over this one, but that could change. I mean, this is early on. Even when I watched the subs of the version of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or Stardust Crusaders to be specific, I got as much as the dub went on for us 3 episodes in. I just wanted to get a little peek, and I already got spoiled with some shit, and I'm mad, but oh well. Aside from that, Jotaro's mom, that's one of my favorite female voice actresses. You may know her. She's Cordelia, ironically. Cordelia is Crom's now Crom's mom. It's like you may know her as Cordelia Ibihara. Or Severa, also in Fire Emblem. She's done a lot of Soon characters, kind of, and more mature ones. But she is one of my favorite voice actresses, so that's surprising. I'm kind of shocked. She does it really well. Next up is Joseph Joestar, or Old Joseph. He has, if I remember correctly, he is voiced by the guy who did Bobobo and Bobobo. I'm pretty sure anyone who's been around at least has heard of that show, maybe, because it was a funny show. But he's doing a serious role, and he does it really well. I did not expect it to sound anywhere similar to the Japanese one, but I think this one really suits him. It grew on me really quickly, especially because it captures the flamboyance, which is the second JoJo, because that JoJo is more loud and outgoing. He still shows that, even despite being so old and mature. You see that more in episodes 2 and 3. I don't know who Muhammad Abdal is, but I like his voice. To me, it kind of suits where he's from. But I don't know. Kakyoin, in episode 2, Kakyoin has Kyle Haybear as his voice. And I mean, like I said, I got spoiled of all the characters, but still, I'm shocked that Kyle Haybear is here. I mean, that's not to say he can't, because he's had experience in big shonen anime. Come on, he was on with JoJo Bizarre Adventure rival, pretty much, Dragon Ball Z. He was the announcer and Teen Gohan, or Adult Gohan, I guess. But I do like what I've heard, and Dio. Dio is voiced by Patrick Seitz. You may know him as Frankie from One Piece, Basilio in Fire Emblem Awakening. He is also, in like newer upcoming roles, he's also going to be Nidai from Super Danganronpa 2. And that's the exact role I was hoping for. It's so perfect for him. I think they really got it spot on. But Patrick Seitz is getting a lot of voices, and it's great. I was shocked when I heard this, because I've heard that deep, angry, manly voice like he was going to use, like he uses for Frankie and Nidai. But you know, apparently he has done like a vampire character before in the Castlevania series, so he's had vampire experience. The voice I heard, well, it's not to be as great as the Japanese one. That's rare of me to say, mind you. I really, really, really like Dio Brando's original Japanese voice actor. It's just so great. But I don't hate this one. It's gonna grow on me. I can feel it. And besides, it's Patrick Seitz. I like the guy. But then again, I love all voice actors. No surprise there. But now that we're through with voice acting, that was pretty much all that seemed to be worth discussing. But the 3 episodes, I've seen them, but just hearing them in English, it feels better for me. I mean, mind you, despite how the beginning takes place in Japan, the general game or series takes place all over the world, but the main characters are usually English. Like, the first JoJo was British, then the second one, American, now the third one's Japanese, so I'm seeing some blend going on, and it's like, I'm hoping that they really show off the other cultures in Egypt very well. I mean, I know they had some controversy with one particular fight. I don't know who was fighting, because I don't remember, and that might be a good thing. But I think they're fighting on top of well, they're in Egypt, and the Islam is a popular religion. They're a Muslim. Like, that's a very popular religion there. I don't know if it's the most renowned, but that is a thing. So it's the Middle East, so that's what happens. But basically, I am enjoying where this is going, and I look forward to hearing more of the dub soon. But with that, at the same time, I would encourage anybody who is into JoJo please watch it legally. Please watch it on Crunchyroll. Even if you have to watch the Japanese dub, just watch it legally. If you have a Crunchyroll account, that's even better. You could get a 1-month trial. But just support JoJo. And not just buy the manga if you're into reading instead of viewing. Like, I prefer viewing it instead of reading it, but mangas are good too. I can read through some. I mean, like a few months ago I bought a huge, like 3 volumes that were like $11 for Evangelion, like compiled into one book for $20, and that's a good deal. So, I mean, I could read, but I prefer watching it. But I've already watched it, so reading it's nice. So it's like depending on what you want. But despite that, try and support it if you can. I mean, they advertise it up the ass when you go to the website. Like I said, I will link it in the description so you can read it, but I believe you only have a certain amount of time. I hope I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, sorry. But you could probably look up the information about how this is going to work and if it's going to stay around for a while. But I don't know. I think that's all I really need to say. Just please support it because I want this dub to continue further. Well, it likely is going to go all the way through, but further. I believe that if this does well enough, not only will we get Part 4, or Diamond Does Not Crash, or as they call it here, Diamond is Unbreakable, but also they will likely go back and redub Part 1 and Part 2. The only reason they're doing Part 3 is because in Japan, Part 3 is the most beloved out of all the parts in that the creator has made, and I believe he's up to 8, maybe more. I don't know. Like this is the most popular by far. Though personally, I preferred Part 2 in terms of the story and Part 1 in terms of the JoJo, because Jonathan Joestar is my favorite one. But I'm hoping that those will get dubbed too, but that depends on how well Stardust Crusaders goes, and I'm really hoping this also goes on Toonami, but seeing as how popular JoJo is, and it's a pretty big shonen, it's likely going to be on Toonami. As to what it's going to fill, I don't know if Sword Art Online is still on. I think they're still airing it, though it should have been done already. I don't remember, but sooner or later some other anime is going to end, or it's going to get removed. Like maybe, okay, I think they still have Star Wars: The Clone Wars on Toonami still. So who knows, they might change the schedule, but take that out and put JoJo in there. So, if I get this right, which I'm hoping for, that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is going to go to Toonami, please watch it there too. I hope you do. I mean, there's already enough reason to watch it, or watch Toonami, like Attack on Titan. The big 3, assuming all 3 are still there. No, I think Naruto and One Piece are still there. I don't know. But so, please support the series officially if you can. I know I'm a hypocrite saying it, but we all are. We all are. Anyway, tell me your thoughts on this anime. For if you've seen the dub, or if you've seen subs, tell me your thoughts there and we can discuss them. If you're talking spoilery stuff, send it in a PM. I don't want to spoil this series because I got spoiled so much about it. Be careful when you look up this shit. This has been around for over 20 years, so you're gonna find spoilers up the ass. It's like Game of Thrones, but worse, even though I'm not a big Game of Thrones fan. I've heard people get spoiled constantly. But yeah, aside from that, tell me your thoughts. Do you like the dub, or do you like the sub? I won't get mad at you for whichever one you prefer, but I'm just saying, I think the dub has good potential. Mind you, my big argument is that look at the setting that this tends to go to. I mean, yes, this beginning is in Japan, but for the most part, it's at least up to what I've seen, it's taking place in English-speaking areas. This anime is meant for a dub, if I have to be honest. Except for some voicing like Oda, 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 like the battle cry that Jotaro makes. Which, speaking of that, he actually said that. So that makes me think that Dio, that Patrick Seats, is going to be saying Muda, 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 Muda. And I'm looking forward to that. I am looking forward to that. Japanese and English, but I'm hoping that's going to be the case. Well, that's one thing I forgot to mention, but yes, tell me what you think of the show, if you've watched it all. If not, go watch it all. It's all on Crunchyroll. You can actually watch it. I mean, what's the problem with a few ads? They're only 2 15-second ads usually, and they're not that bad. I don't see what the big deal is. Like, I mean, TV's worse. You have 2 minutes of ads usually every 5 seconds. Whereas this one, I mean, there's 2 or 3 sections where you have to listen to 2 15-second ads. That's 45 seconds of your time. No, wait, no, that's 1 minute and 30 seconds of your time. I don't think that's a big deal. So, please go support it. I'll link not only the first episode to the dub, but I'll also link you to the first episode of the show, or just like the whole playlist, depending on where you're at, just in case. But anyway, with that said, I'll be taking my leave, so you know the drill. I will see you guys in another video.